a very specific situation. It's something about like conquering, the unreachable goal. It's like that's a cliche of women like the bad boy because they want to be the one to reform him, or there's some draw to overcome whatever is blocking him from letting his true feelings out, all of that stuff.
That is a pretty common cliche. Also in romance novels, I like to make fun of the notion of a man's secret pain, because there's always like an abusive parent, or like a child that died years ago, or something that is supposed to be the overall justification for why he's so brash and distant and won't let the beautiful woman in.
Well, that's when they bring, pop psychology into these stories. A lot of times, and I don't expect them to explain it here, but a lot of times they just go in this direction. But I don't get, even from the point of view of romance comics and this whole genre, I don't get why she's doing this.
Yeah, because once again, love is a sickness.
I guess so. All right. Oh my God.
He says, even, I can't resist, in her fantasy as they're kissing.
So he tries to resist. He doesn't want to kiss her. And he does anyway.
Even in her fantasy.
Okay. That's actually a little consistent. It's like, I want to continue to be a jerk. That's my whole thing. I want to continue to get mad at you and somehow blame you for whatever I'm dealing with.
And she starts weeping onto her bed, thinking, that's the way it should have begun, but it's hopeless.
Right, we have to keep in mind, this is the woman who has never had a guy, and they never are interested in her. And she's like, going after whatever guy is sort of like at the bottom of, scraping the bottom of the barrel. The one who was like such a total jerk that all other women have already dumped him. Oh my God.
But the next day she goes back to the beach, and she notices a sailboat that's having some trouble. That sailboat is tacking too sharp. It's going to heel right over in the water. There it goes. I had qualified as a senior lifesaver, and no one's coming up. Might have been knocked out as the boat overturned. So she swims out to this sailboat that's just turned over.
In like heavy surf.
Yes, so she's trained as a lifeguard, knows what she's doing, knows how to swim quite well, because she's gone from the shore to this lifeboat, this sailboat, very quickly.
And she's a like top flight mechanic plus lifeguard quality swimmer, and presumably knows the other lifeguard skills, but nobody wants to date her.
No, she's just too amazing.
Yeah, she's too accomplished. She should be more of a kind of quiet, just put on the gloves and the pearls and just shut up.
You're getting a little too close to the conclusion of this story.
I'm just guessing. I haven't read this.
So she dives underwater to find the man tangled. Finds a man tangled in the ropes of the boat, and guess who it is?
Big surprise. Well, I mean, I'd have been surprised if it wasn't. What also surprises me is what she thinks in her thought bubble. She says, it's he again. That is grammatically correct.
Mm-hmm.
You would never expect to see that, though. It would always be, it's him. It's just the way people talk. But she, or the writer, chose to be grammatically correct in this emergency situation.
So not only is she a brilliant mechanic and a lifeguard, she's also grammatically correct under the most dire of circumstances.
That's right.
I could feel his eyes on me, even underwater. He's got to get over his mad at me this time.
Yeah, he's got this look on his face like, oh God, not her again. I'm gonna get rescued by that one? The same one that has already rescued me like twice and made me feel like a complete loser. Damn it!
But I should have known better. And so she brings him up to the surface, and the first thing he says is, I was freeing myself when you came along. I'm not helpless. I'm a man. I wish you'd stay out of my way.
Jeez. Oh my God. This guy has so many issues. I don't want to meet like his parents or whatever made him this way.
Yeah, he's eating toxic masculinity every meal.
Wow. You know, they're making him be this cliche of that type of guy, but oh, geez, this is over the top.
And of course, she's hurt and upset by this. So the narration says, I struck out in a blind mixture of anger and heartache, as if the choppy waves that arose would drown my feelings. I'll never come near you again. Never, never.
Yeah, you said that before.
And here's where we come to the splash page. Is the scenario the splash page had promised us.
And in this case, it's literally a splash page.
A few moments later, my whole body was twisted by such a paralyzing cramp that I started to go down. For no apparent reason, apparently.
Well, that can happen when you're out swimming fast and didn't, prepare or something.
Yeah, but she's a lifeguard. You'd think she'd know how to handle this.
Mm-hmm.
But instead she thinks to herself, I won't call him, no matter what. I'd rather sink first.
Now, this is the first time that we already knew that this woman was messed up, because here she is going after and fantasizing about this guy who's a complete jerk. But this is the first time we realized that she is off her rocker, too. I would rather die than give a drop of, dignity to this guy by asking him to save my life as I just did his.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the original Drowning Girl picture is that it's often been used as this portrait of immense melodrama, and it's an image of a woman drowning in emotion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So here we get the emotion that she's drowning in.
Because again, this is the same scene, although this picture is different. I would rather drown than have Brad or Mal or whoever save me.
Well, he hasn't said his name in this.
I mean, I would have thought, if you just showed me that picture, and maybe if I saw the Liechtenstein, I would have thought, he abused me, and therefore I don't want him to save me. Or even some stupid, rejection or two-timing or some other reason to hate this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose him being a jerk after you've rescued him so many times is a sort of reason, but not good enough to die for.
But so she's thinking that she'd rather sink under the waves than call for help. But I didn't have to. He flashed up to me like a human torpedo, and my whole body ached at the touch of his arms around me.
I love that human torpedo imagery.
I never saw such a stubborn person. There's nothing terrible about admitting that you need help.
How do you know she's being stubborn? Maybe she's frickin' drowning.
Also, this is the one lesson that he doesn't seem to get himself.
Well, the irony is so obvious I didn't even want to comment on it. It's like, duh. But then
he towed me to shore expertly.
Expertly.
Oh, is he a lifeguard too?
Evidently.
Apparently he didn't go to proper training for his sailboating. Then he carried me out of the water in his arms. Helping a woman is a man's job. You see that now, don't you? Yes, I see that now.
You have got to be kidding. No, come on. Tell me that she's just saying it